Hello and welcome to part 14 of this tutorial on how to create a full-stack website using MongoDB, Express, React, and Node. In this part, we'll create the constants and reducers for our image state, then start on the actions. So let's get started. In the store constants folder, create an imageconstants.js file. Copy all the constants from the blog constants.js file and bring them in. For the first set, change the word blogs to images. For the rest of the constants, change blog to image. In the reducers folder, create an imagereducers.js file. Copy all the constant names from the image constants file. Now import the constants into the image reducers file. Select multiple lines by holding the middle mouse button down and scrolling. Then add some commas. Now export a constant named imageListReducer. Set it to an arrow function. In the parentheses, set state to an object, where we set images to an empty array. For the second argument, pass in action. In the function body, create a switch statement. We'll switch based off the action.type. The first case will be get_images_request. Set that to return an object, where we set loading to true and images to an empty array. The second case will be getImagesSuccess. Set that to return an object, where we set loading to false, images to action.payload.images, pages to action.payload.pages, and page to action.payload.page. The next case will be getImagesFail. Set that to return an object, where we set loading to false, and error to action.payload. We're done with that reducer. In the blog reducers.js file, copy the blog create reducer and bring it into the image reducers file. Change the name to image create reducer. Change the state to set image to an empty object. For the case names, change blog underscore to image underscore. And where we see blog in the return statements, change that to image. Now bring in the blog delete reducer. Change the name to image delete reducer. In the case names, change blog underscore to image underscore. And we'll write the next reducer ourselves. Export a image details reducer constant. Set it to an arrow function. For arguments, we'll pass in state and set it to an object, where we set image to an empty object. Then pass in action as the second param. In the function body, create a switch statement. We'll switch based off the action.type. The first case will be image_details_request. We'll return an object where we set loading to true and use the spread operator to pass down the contents of state. The second case will be image_details_success, where we'll return an object, then set loading to false, success to true, and image to action.payload. The next case will be image underscore details underscore fail. We'll return an object where we set loading to false and error to action.payload. Now for the default, return state. Next, export a image update reducer constant. In the parentheses, we'll set state to an object where we set image to an empty object, pass in action as the second param. In the function body, create a switch statement based off the action.type. The first case will be update image request. We'll return an object where we set loading to true and image to an empty object. The second case will be update image success. We'll return an object where we set loading to false, success to true, and image to action.payload. The next case will be update image fail. We'll return an object where we set loading to false and error to action.payload. The last case will be update image reset. We'll return an object where we set image to an empty object. Now for the default, return state. Copy the name of each reducer. Then we need to import them into the reducer's index.js file. In the combine reducers function, paste in the constants after the other reducers. For each reducer, we'll rename it to itself without reducer in the word. And that's it for the reducers. In the actions folder, create an Imageactions.js file. Import Axios. Import an object from the image constants file. Copy the constants from the image reducers file and bring them in. Export a getImages constant. Set it to an arrow function. In the parentheses, set page number to an empty string and page size to an empty string. This arrow function will be asynchronous, so point the arrow to async. And we'll need to dispatch to, so open the second set of parentheses and pass in dispatch. Then in the function body, create a try-catch block. In the try, dispatch an object where we set the type to get_images_request. Below that, we'll create our Axios request. We'll get some data back, so destructure that from await axios.get. Pass in a template string containing /API/image. And we'll use some query parameters, so use a question mark to add them on. Set page number to the page number param. The ampersand symbol is how we add on more query parameters. The second will be page size, so set that to the page size param. After the request, dispatch an object where we set the type to getImagesSuccess and the payload to data. Inside the catch block, dispatch an object where we set the type to getImagesFail Then for the payload, copy that from any catch block in the blog actions.js file. Copy the create blog action from the blog actions file and bring that in. Rename it to create image. Change the first dispatch type to create_image_request. Change the request location to /API/image. And we'll actually need to get rid of this extra slash in the create blog action also. Back to the create image action. Change the dispatch types to create image success and fail. And we're done. That's it for this part. Thanks for watching.